What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Daily Unicorn. Now, basically what's going to happen is for the next 30 days, I'm going to upload one video every day, 7 days a week, where I call a random person from my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube, my Twitter, or my Inner Circle members area. I'm going to call someone randomly, and I'm going to answer their questions. Could be strength training, nutrition, fat loss, muscle gain, mindset, motivation, business, anything. Whatever the questions are, I'm going to answer them in 10 minutes or less in every video. If after the 30 days people really like it, it's going well, I'll continue. If not, we'll see what changes I have to make. Either way, I'm going to start right now. I picked a really sweet woman. Her name is Brianne. She's from my Inner Circle. She's been crushing it lately. And actually, I've never spoken to her on the phone before. I DM'd her on Instagram because we've been emailing back and forth a little bit. So I'm going to call her right now. No idea where she lives, what she's doing. She's probably in the middle of work. Let's see. I'm calling Brianne. I'm going to put this on speakerphone, and it'll be good to go. Hope you can hear this.
Hello.
Brianne.
Yes, hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So where do you live? Like, where are you calling from, or where am I calling you?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Well, it's amazing to finally get on the phone and speak with you. Thank you for taking the time.
Of course. Always.
Always. So talk to me. I basically, like I told you, it's going to be 10 minutes or less. And I'm sure you and I are going to hop on the phone for a longer call, something else, just like a random Inner Circle call. But I wanted to give you the chance, number one, to be the first person for this. I'm calling it the Daily Unicorn, by the way. I just made that up.
Oh, that's cool.
One video every day. But basically, like, how can I help you? Is there any specific question you have, anything you're struggling with, or really anything that maybe you found that is helping you with fitness and nutrition? Is there anything that you've been doing really well lately that you want to talk about?
Okay.
So it's up to you. You got to shoot me with a question or something.
Yeah, okay. So I guess, my first thing is basically, your mindset. So as far as, so when I started out this, it was okay, well, I'm going to diet and, go to the gym to try and change my body because we all have a goal on where we want to be and, what we want to look like and all this. But how do you change that mindset so this is actually, a life change and not certain period of time diet to get to a point?
Got it. Okay, so just to clarify, and tell me if I'm wrong, you want to know how you go from the mindset of this is a short-term diet to this is a lifestyle long-term?
Right, yeah.
Got it. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer to that. I think basically, as the reality is this, when you ask that question, you already know that it's probably going to be more beneficial to think long-term, right?
Right.
So basically, well, let me ask you this, and before I just give you an answer, what do you find your biggest struggle with? Do you find yourself falling into the trap of all right, I want to do this in as quickly as possible, or in 30 days or 60 days? Where did that question stem from?
I think so. It's okay, I want to see results as quick as possible. It's I'm seeing results now. I can kind of be a little more lenient with what I'm doing, but that's really not the truth. I obviously need to keep going and be consistent and everything like that. And then that kind of, I guess, ties in. Wait, what did I write down? Oh, just kind of binging on the weekends and stuff like that. That was one of my other things I was going to ask you about, and how you kind of combat that / deal with that.
Okay, so to go back first to the long-term mindset before we go to the binging, we'll talk about that. What specifically sparked you to ask that? Is that stemming from logically long-term is better, but practically, realistically, in everyday life, you're struggling to have that long-term mindset?
Yes, because I think in the past it's been we're gonna, I've had trainers in the past and they're okay, well, we'll get you to this goal in 30 days. And then you see those results and you're okay, cool. But then you gain all the weight plus more back after you stop because you didn't keep it as a lifelong thing or long-term thing, so to speak. And so, we're all human. We all want that instant gratification. So it's kind of hard to change your mindset into, okay, no, I need to be consistent and keep this way.
Got it. Okay, that makes total sense. Well, let me ask you this. How are you measuring your progress? So, like, let's say you do those 30 days. Like, is the scale your main measurement of progress there?
I think there it was, yes. I've turned towards more like pictures now, which has been super helpful. But because the scale hasn't moved a whole lot, and that's like discouraging. So I said, screw that, I'm not using that anymore.
Well, got it. So that right there, and that's why I'm glad like I asked a couple more questions, because the reality is you were basing your results, your success off of the scale number, and you were assuming that within a certain time frame you should be able to make X amount of progress. So you basically, it's sort of like, it's a very fickle and very short-lived marker of success, right? Where basically, okay, so in 30 days, you're going to lose like what, 8, 10, 15, 20 pounds or whatever. And you're like, oh my God, yes, I lost that much weight. But then the days go by, the really restrictive diet, exercise, whatever is over, and you go back to quote unquote normal. And you either get discouraged because you're not making the same progress as quickly, and or you just go back immediately because like you just couldn't sustain it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So basically, and the reality is, Brianne, you know the answer. Like you already know it. The answer lies in number one, having a more realistic and practical view of what you can expect, which you already know the answer, and also not basing your success solely off of the scale, right? Like when you're basing your success off of a measure that is inherently fickle and inherently illogical, like that's the whole thing with the scale. The scale will go up and down and left and right and up and like and twisty and turny for no reason other than just because it fucking decided to. Like you could literally lose fat and gain weight, right? Like during I've had clients where women, their periods will cause them to spike up literally like 7 pounds. But like, it doesn't mean that.
Me last week, and I was so mad.
Yeah, it is. So the thing is, what's funny though is even if you spike up 10 pounds, it's not fat. You're bloated. There's a whole lot of reasons for that, but that could be legitimately just because of water retention, and you could still be losing fat over that time frame, but the scale won't reflect it, and even pictures and measurements won't either, just because you're bloated. So and that comes down to the longer term view, where, for example, when I'm looking at client data. The first 30 days, literally the entire first 30 days of when I'm with a client, they mean nothing in terms of that's all data collection, right? So those first 30 days, I'm just seeing the trend of their weight in relation to, okay, so like this is what happens after heavy lifting days. This is where they tend to be after the weekends. This is where they tend to be like on like various times of the month. Like you can look at the trend of where their weight is as well as their measurements, and then you can relate that back every month thereafter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So when you have a short-term view, it's like when you're looking at 30 days as the max, you're inherently going to have a short-term view. But if instead of 30 days, you look at one set of 30 days as like the baseline, now all of a sudden 6 months becomes relatively quick.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah, totally.
And by the way, like I fully understand that it is way easier said than done. Like, of course, we all want like fast track to success and the quick and easy, and we all logically know that it's not going to happen in a day or a week or a month. But when you're going really hard day in and day out, and like you're really focusing on your nutrition and you're really focusing on your workouts, and you're like, maybe you like go out on a Friday and you hold back and you don't eat like all the nachos, like it's much harder because when you're in the moment, it's not as, you don't have the same perception of time. Now all of a sudden, like that day, that week, that month can feel like it took 6 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's actually, and one of the main reasons why I really like journaling or like keeping track of your data over time, because then you can look back and say, oh, wow, it's only been like 12 days, right?
Right.
Does all that make sense?
Well, I found that alone just with like even calorie counting. It was like really, really hard at first, but now I've been doing it for almost a month and a half, and I'm like, okay, no, this is super easy. Like, I could do this.
And that's amazing. So actually, you know what? I'd be interested to hear. So in your email recently to me, you said like it took like 1 or 2 months for you to like really get onto it. And once you got onto it, all of a sudden it's just been like, holy shit, like this is life changing.
Yeah, so I don't know like what has changed, but my entire like I'm not joking, my entire like life has changed in the last month and a half.
So what? Like, tell me, like, what's changed in terms of what have you started doing, and what is like sort of telling you that it's changed? Like, what have you started doing, and then what is the markers of that change?
I think so I meal prep every Sunday, and I make my grocery list. I put it all into my fitness pal, so I have all my calories for the day or for the week, I guess, mapped out, and then I make all my stuff, and I don't buy anything extra, and I tell myself, and I guess the month of January I had a rule that I didn't eat out the month of January, and that actually really, really helped, and it really changed, like, my whole mindset on eating out versus cooking at home and stuff. And then I go to the gym at my lunch hour at work. I get a 2-hour lunch, so I hit the gym then because I'm not a morning or a evening person. And then, yeah, I think just seeing results in myself as far as, like, I'm like, oh, my waist looks a little bit better. Oh, I'm not bloated all the time. And then also just I'm just happier as a person. Like, I'm sleeping better, and I feel more balanced, so to speak.
That's amazing.
And then also just like being a part of the inner circle and seeing everybody else's progress and everybody's support, and then your support and just everything. I don't know.
Well, that's incredible. And you said so much good stuff in there, like a ton of good stuff. And one of the things that, aside from, so for example, meal prepping, like everyone talks about meal prepping and everyone almost sort of brushes it off. Like, yeah, I get it, prepare. But like it goes like so understated. Like when you have them prepared, and then also, this is actually like aside from the meal prepping, because everyone knows like they should, but like I really want to hit on the two things that you said that really stuck out to me, that essentially they were the same thing. You created a bright line. You said you're not going to get any extra food, right? And then you also said you didn't eat out all of January. So basically, like you created these rules for yourself that were no if, and, or but. There was no ambiguity. There was no like, well, if this happens or if that happens, you're like, hey, this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to stick to it. And tell me if I'm wrong. Did that like take away any like anxiety or any issues you might have had before?
Gosh. So much anxiety was just like gone.
And that right there is where I'm like so happy to hear. And it's such an important lesson, because most people struggle with food anxiety, and tell me if you did this too, is because there's no like set, this is what I'm doing. It's a little bit like, well, I want to be flexible and I also want to be strict and have results, but there's like a middle ground where they're sort of just floating in and there's no definitive answer. Is that where you were?
Yeah, I definitely was there. And then after, kind of reading your nutrition guide and everything, I was like, okay, I'm going to commit and I'm going to do this and I'm going to see how it goes. And honestly, it has become easier and easier every day. And just like, it's awesome knowing that like all my meals are ready for me at home. All I have to do is heat it up and I'm good to go.
Brianne, that is amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. You're crushing it. Seriously, you're absolutely crushing it. And I'm gonna end with this, and then we're gonna talk again later. But I want to say, number one, I'm outrageously impressed with you. You've come so far in a very short period of time, and I'm like beyond impressed. I don't say that lightly. Number two is I also want to be very clear. There are going to be like hard times as well. Like you're doing great, and when you get when you get frustrated, that's normal, and stick with it. Use me, use the inner circle. Like always, like that's always there for you. But don't ever, like when the frustration comes, don't quit. Because I swear to God, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to crush it.
Awesome. I promise I won't quit.
Amazing. Brianne, I'm going to talk to you soon. Thank you so much for coming on. I love you to death. I'll see you in the inner circle, okay?
All right, love you.
Bye, Brianne.
Bye.
All right, so that went a little longer than I wanted, but that was a really good first call. Brianne, you are amazing. Thank you for taking it. I'm going to be doing more of these, so make sure you turn your notifications on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all that, because I'm going to be asking for people to send me their number so I can call you. That is that. Any questions, leave them below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you don't already. Have a good day. I will talk to you soon on the next Daily Unicorn.